Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dami Dimension. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be bringing to you an updated version of the basic bodice pattern. I already have one on my channel already, but I feel it's not up to date. There are some things that I did not include in that tutorial, and that is why I'm bringing this pattern tutorial to you again. And because I'm going to be having so many things coming up that I'm going to be making with basic bodice pattern, so we are going to be referencing this tutorial a lot, so consider that it's very important for you to watch this video from the beginning to the end as well. So if you're yet to be subscribed to my channel, you should consider subscribing and make sure you turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on my subsequent videos. I post sewing tutorials every week. Alright, so let's get started. So right here I have my paper folded into two, and I also have 1.5 inch zipper allowance, which I fold in just to make sure we don't get confused. All right, so I'm just going to be folding it back in, and then we are going to start drafting. And this line right here is just a starting point, which is going to be my shoulder line. And like I said, I have my paper folded into two. One is going to be for the front and the other one is going to be for the back panel. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to be doing is to take my vertical measurement, and I'm going to be starting from my shoulder line that I've already drawn, and I'm going to be taking my shoulder to nipple measurement, which is 16. Then I will mark also my shoulder to waist measurement, and I'm also going to be marking my shoulder to hip measurement, which is 24 inches. All right, I'm going to be transferring that same measurement here as well, so that I can connect those points into a straight horizontal lines. Okay, so now this is my shoulder line, this is my nipple point line or bust point, this is my waistline, and here is my hip line. So the first thing I'm going to be marking is my neck width, and I'm using 3 inches neck width, which is like standard for drafting a basic bodice. And I'm also going to be using 3 inches neck depth as well. And after placing that point, go ahead and connect that together to form your neckline. Alright, and the next thing I'm going to be placing is my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 14. I'm going to divide it by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So this is my 7 point. And now from that point, I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch. Some people come down by 0.75. That's actually okay, as long as you come down to form your shoulder slope, okay? Because our shoulder is not entirely straight. So now from this point, I will connect to my neck width point like so. Alright, so once that is done, from this point now we are going to be taking our armhole depth downward. So just measure around your armhole and divide it by 2 and place the measurement. Another way of calculating your armhole depth is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inch. So mark the point and connect with a straight line like so. And then under this line, I'm going to be drawing a horizontal line across, which is going to serve as my chest line now. Okay, so you can draw the line across, but for me, I prefer to just draw it here because I need it around the armhole alone. Okay, so now this is my chest line. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to place my dart, and in order to do that, we are going to take the nipple to nipple measurement, divide it by 2, and place whatever you have on your bust point line, like you can see me doing. Mine is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so I'm placing my 4 like that, and I'm also going to place it on my hip line like this as well, so that I can connect those 2 points together to form a straight line, which is going to be the center line of my dart. Alright, then from this point on my bust point, I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch, which is where my dart is going to be starting from. And on my hip line, I'm going to be going up by 2 inches, just to indicate where the dart leg is going to end. Okay, and on my waistline, I'm going to be taking 1/2 inch on both sides of that center line like so. And now we have 4 points which we are going to be connecting to form the dart. Okay, and once you're done doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to start transferring my horizontal measurement. And all of these horizontal measurements, we are going to be dividing them by 4. And the reason why we do that is because what we are drafting right now is only a quarter of the body. So right, so I'm going to be starting with my bust circumference. I will divide my bust circumference by 4, and whatever I get, I'm going to be placing it on that my chest line that I marked as CH. So that is the point. And next I'm going to my waistline. Take your waist circumference, divide it by 4. Whatever you get, you are going to be adding 1 inch for this dart allowance. Okay, so you know we took in 1 inch for the dart, right? You are going to be returning it. So I'm returning the 1 inch, and whatever I get now, I'm marking it like so. And next I'm moving to my hip line. Take your hip circumference, divide it by 4, and then whatever you get, place it straight on your hip line, because we don't have that getting to this point, so we don't have to add any dart allowance. All right, and now we are going to be connecting the side seam. The next thing I'm going to do now is to draw my armhole curve, and in order to do that, I'm going to be finding the midpoint of that armhole depth. That is my midpoint, and on that midpoint I'm going to be coming in by 3/4 of an inch. That is because the armhole curve of the front is always deeper than that of the back. So that is my 3/4 of an inch point, and from there I'm connecting here to here and here to here with a curve. So here with a straight line and here with a curve, and that forms my front armhole curve. Okay, and now for the armhole of the back, you are going to be leaving this part as a straight line, and from here you connect to here with a curve, just like you are going to see me doing right now. Okay, so this now is the back armhole and this is the front armhole. Okay, so now I'm going to be drawing my back neckline, and I'm just going to be taking the neck depth of 1 inch, which is the basic neckline for the back, and I'm connecting the point to that neck width of the front like so. And this now is the back neckline, and this is the front neckline. So now I'm going to be adding seam allowance all around it. If you want, you can not add seam allowance to yours, you can add it on your fabric later, but for me I'm going to be adding 1 inch at the side, 1/2 inch at the hemline, and 1/2 inch at the shoulder line. Okay, and I'm marking my seam allowance with a different color of marker so that you can see it differently. And at the shoulder I'm adding 1/2 inch as well, like I said. Okay, so now we are moving to what is different in this pattern as against the one I have on my channel already. So I'm just revealing my zipper allowance now, and I'm extending that neckline of the back to the zipper allowance area as well, so that it can, I can know how to cut it. So now I'm moving to the new thing, and I'm going to be adding the side dart. Okay, for basic bodies, if you have your side dart, it kind of just make the bust point pop a little bit more, rather than having only the waist dart. Okay, so in order to put the side dart, I'm going to be finding the midpoint between here and here. So the midpoint of this line, from my chest line to my waistline, find the midpoint, place a point or a mark, and then from that point you are going to connect straight to your nipple point like so. And then from your nipple point you are going to be taking 1 inch away along that line, just to indicate where the bust dart is going to be starting from. Some call it side dart and some call it bust dart. It's still the same thing. And on this area I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch on both sides. You can take 0.25 inch if you want. And now I'm going to be connecting those 3 points together to form my bust dart. So that's the bust dart. So because of this dart now, you know that we are going to be losing 1 inch by the time we join that dart together. The down part is going to be too short because we are not going to be adding this dart to the back panel. So we are going to be returning that 1 inch now to the hemline. in order to make sure everything balances out by the time we join. Okay, so I'm just adding that 1 inch back to my hemline like so. So mark the point of 1 inch, and then from that point I'm going to be connecting it smoothly to this edge right here. Okay, and then I extend that line. So now we are eliminating this one, and by the time we sew in our dart here, it's going to move up and it's going to balance nicely. Okay, so yeah, but you know that the down part of your blouse may not take this shape depending on what design you're doing, but regardless of what shape the down part of your blouse is going to be taking, as long as you're putting your side dart, make sure you add that allowance back to the hemline so everything can balance out. So at this point now I'm going to go ahead and cut, but I'm going to be cutting my back panel out first. So you see how I'm cutting, so I don't cut my front panel first, I'm cutting only the back first. And now I'm going to be splitting this part open as well so I can separate the two panels. So now these are my two panels. I'll put the front separately. This now is my back. Let me just indicate so I can know what is what. And then I'm going to be cutting the back neckline and the zipper allowance off the front panel, because the front panel obviously will not have the zipper allowance and all of those extra armhole and neckline. So now that is done, my front panel is done. I'm going to set it aside, and I'm going to be working on my back panel. So you remember that extra 1 inch we added at the hemline, we don't need it at the back panel like I said, so we're going to be taking it off the back panel. So I'm just tracing it out on my back panel. So I'm going to be taking off that portion on the back panel only. Okay, so just trim it out. And next thing, I'm going to be marking all the prominent lines that I have on my front panel. I'm going to be transferring it on my back panel. So this is my zipper allowance. I'm just going to place a line on it just to make sure it is clear. And like I said, I'm tracing out all those important lines on my back panel as well. You can trace out all of the lines now because you are going to be needing them, your nipple line, everything. Okay, so just bring out the lines. And another new thing that I'm going to be doing in this pattern tutorial is to show you how to eliminate the zipper bulge. You know, in some dresses, when you sew your dress or blouse, you see the zipper area is kind of folding, having some extra fabric that is not needed. So I'm going to be showing you, and in order to do that, now you are going to be taking 1/2 inch in from this point. So I'm taking 1/2 inch from that edge inward like so. Okay, and from that point you are going to be connecting smoothly to your hip line edge like this, and you are going to be connecting upward to your neckline edge as well. So just watch what I'm doing. I'm just connecting the line straight up and straight down like so, and we are going to be cutting this part away eventually, because her back is not totally straight the way we used to draft our pattern. The back pattern at the zipper area is not meant to be straight. Okay, so that's why we do that. And next thing, from this second line, I'm going to be taking 1/2 inch inward as well. And again, from this point now, I'm going to be connecting straight to this corner, and from here I'm going to be going up straight to that corner as well. Just make it as smooth as possible so that everything can come out nice and perfect. Okay, so now here is our new zipper allowance, and this line is no longer necessary, and here we are going to be cutting away this line, but I'm not going to be cutting it in this video because I just want to leave it there. I'm just showing you how to do it. In my fabric, I'm going to be cutting it out. So now I'm just drawing out my nipple point line that I traced out from my front panel, and I'm also going to be tracing out this line. You remember my chest line that I indicated CH on the back on the front panel, so I'm just tracing that line out as well. So that's my chest line. And the next thing is to draw the dart, and from this point I'm going to be going down by 1/2 inch. You can also take 3/4 inch downward. So that's my 1/2 inch point, and on my hip line I'm coming up by 2 inches, and on my waistline I'm taking ½ inch on both sides, which I already have the point, and now I'm going to be connecting those 4 points to form my back dart. Basically that's it, guys. So that's it about this tutorial. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've refreshed your memories if you know how to do it already. This is what they both look like. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and you're going to give me a thumbs up and expect upcoming tutorials. Like I said, I'm going to be making use of this pattern to do so many designs on this channel, so stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun as usual. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and let us meet again in my next one. Bye bye. And by the way, I have a second channel in case you want to connect with me. I'm going to post the link in the description box so you can check and subscribe to my second channel as well, where I make hair tutorials and a lot of fun stuff. Until then, bye.